It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Cody Johnson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Well, good evening and welcome to a Monday. Here's your NCW Life News. I'm Steve Hare. A few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Firefighters battled fire and gusty winds at a house in Wenatchee. Police also searching for a Chelan man who is believed to have fled the area with his two young sons. A paraglider rescued from Grant County Mountain Cliff, and a loose dog causes a two-car injury accident near Monitor. Later on, we have your sports report with Eric Granstrom and a windy weather forecast with Dan Kuntz. First, our top story. Wenatchee firefighters responded to a residential structure fire earlier this morning in the Lambert Street neighborhood. Chelan County Fire District 1 Chief Mike Burnett says damage was restricted to the home's interior.
The damage was confined to one bedroom, and it was significant damage in there. Most all the contents were consumed. Fortunately, the owner had closed that bedroom door before they left, which kept the fire all in that bedroom. It had just started to burn through the top of the door, and there was significant smoke damage throughout the house, but very limited fire damage other than that one bedroom.
And again, the cause of that fire, according to Burnett, is still under investigation. Luckily, there were no injuries. Chelan County Sheriff's Department attempting to locate a Chelan man who is believed to have fled the area with his two young sons following a May 29th altercation at Chelan's Slidewaters Park. Chief Deputy Rick Johnson reports in a news release that the suspect, 28-year-old Sergio Valdez, has two outstanding felony warrants for his arrest. He was last seen on May 29th with his two youngest children, 18-month-old Casper and 6-month-old Aviana. Anyone with information about their possible whereabouts should contact the Sheriff's Office or call Rivercom Emergency Dispatch at 663-9911. A paraglider was rescued Sunday evening after being stranded on a cliff on the north base of the Saddle Mountains in west central Grant County. Sheriff's report said the woman, whose age and hometown were not specified, became stranded on the cliff possibly after crashing the aircraft Sunday afternoon. She was hoisted into an Army rescue helicopter around 7:15 last night and then flown to Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital for treatment of unspecified injuries. Elsewhere in weekend news, a dog ran out onto the highway, causing a two-vehicle injury crash in the Monitor area. It happened Saturday afternoon. State troopers say it happened on Highway 2, about a mile west of Monitor. That's when 66-year-old Darlene Adams of Wenatchee was westbound in her vehicle behind another car driven by 35-year-old Gerald Muscat of Leavenworth. Troopers say Muscat slowed down when the dog ran from a private property onto the roadway. Adams' vehicle rear-ended Muscat, with both cars ending up blocking the westbound lane. Adams was transported to Central Washington Hospital for treatment. Muscat was unhurt. It's unknown how the dog fared and all that. Coming up, we'll have a report from Jay Seebeck on several weekend events. Also a snapshot of the changing real estate environment here in the Wenatchee Valley. I'm Steve Hare. You're watching NCW Life News.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back to NCW Life News. Well, there was sure no shortage of things to do in the Wenatchee Valley over the weekend. Jay Seebeck has a report on the Dog Days of Summer event hosted on Saturday at the Town Toyota Center.
On June 10th, the Town Toyota Center hosted the Dog Days of Summer Family Show. The event gave locals and their dogs an opportunity to show off their skills in obstacle courses, display their unique looks in a beauty pageant better known as a pageant, and participate in other fun activities like dog yoga. The event also gave people a fun and affordable way to meet local groomers and trainers, as well as get their dogs a visit to the veterinarian's office. Whether large or small, all dogs and families were welcome to spend an enjoyable Saturday with man's best friend. I'm Jay Seebeck, NCW Life News.
Looks like a lot of fun at the Town Toyota Center. Also, a big thanks are going out this morning to Wenatchee area car dealerships who completed a very successful food drive over the weekend. Jay Seebeck with NCW Life News was also there to cover that event.
Hi, my name is Jay Smith, here with my wife Debbie. We both own the office here in town, Express Employment Professionals. And this is our third year involved in doing the Branded Blue Day food drive. And we have Carrie, who has been our instrumental person of bringing this together. She sparked interest in bringing dealerships in town, and there has been a great turnout. Not only food donated, but great community involvement. And we're just very proud that we can be part of this community in this area and make a big difference.
Yes. So we went out and just asked the auto dealerships if they'd like to be part of it. We started with doing some Facebook Live videos, and then we encouraged them to call anyone that they had in the community that they worked with. Had they recently sold a car to them, or if they serviced a fleet of vehicles for them. And so they started calling in some favors, and then we heard that the competition was really heating up. They're competitive out there by nature, but it's all for a good cause.
Huge success as well. We checked in with Carrie earlier this morning, and she reports that the dealerships collected in total over 17,400 pounds of food for the needy. Congratulations and thanks to all who donated. Well, you know, there's a serious housing shortage right now in the Wenatchee area. That's creating a seller's market. Higher property prices is resulting from that as well. The monthly real estate snapshot report issued by Pacific Appraisal Associates said the inventory of homes for sale in the Wenatchee Valley is down drastically from last year at this time. The report shows a 40% drop since May of 2016. Now, the area has also seen a steady decline since 2010, when there were 570 homes for sale. Today, that number has dropped to 130 units. Meanwhile, the average price of a home over the past year has increased from $280,400 to just over $295,200. The snapshot report covers real estate in Wenatchee, Malaga, East Wenatchee, Orondo, and Rock Island. We expect to get a snapshot report of the real estate activity in the Cashmere and Leavenworth areas also later this week. Again, you're watching NCW Life News for a Monday. Coming up next, Eric Grandstrom with your North Central Washington sports. And our feature today narrows in on autoimmune diseases and what a local network is doing to raise awareness of it in North Central Washington.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. The Wenatchee Apple Sox began a new series Sunday at Paul Thomas Senior Field against Yakima after taking 2 of 3 from Victoria to start the weekend. Voice of the Apple Sox, Trevor Williams, has the story from last night.
Well, you didn't have to look too far for an absolutely spectacular performance Sunday night from the Wenatchee Apple Sox. 4-3, the win over the Yakima Valley Pippins. Colin Mayer in his second start of the summer, now 2-0, 7 innings of work. He gave up just 4 hits and 2 earned runs, struck out 5 batters. The story for the Apple Sox, though, breaking a 1-1 tie in the 6th inning. Dugan Shire, the Washington State teammate of Colin Mayer, able to get a 2 RBI single to center. Evan Johnson, a sac fly a little later in the inning that would prove to be the eventual game-winning run. Connor Leadholm had 2 innings in relief for his first save of the summer. He's faced 12 batters. He's retired 12 batters this summer, and the Apple Sox improved to 3-1 in game ones this year of 3-game sets. Tonight, they play for a series sweep after the 4-3 win last night. 7:05 is the first pitch. Griffin Davis on the hill for the Apple Sox at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium.
Thank you much, Trevor. So there you have the happy totals. Wenatchee, by the way, dropped a 5-3 decision to Victoria Saturday after posting a 7-6 win on Friday night. Also in West Coast League play on Sunday, it was Bend down in Corvallis by a final of 11-2, and Bellingham over Gresham by a final of 13-5. Wenatchee currently tied with 3 other teams for second in the North Division of the West Coast League, a half game back of Kelowna. Well, monster trucks, motocross tricks, and pyrotechnics were all part of the wild weekend at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. Malicious Monster Truck Tour started things off, followed by the BMX Freestyle Motocross, and finally, the fire-breathing Kamikaze Kid. Talk about firing up the fans at WVSO. Hagelin's Trophies presents the Pro Late Models, Vintage Modified, Street Stocks, and Roadrunners, and the Bandoleros coming up this Saturday at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Thanks to Jay Seebeck for getting that video for us last Friday night. Well, the Wenatchee Valley Rams were down to 18 players in its game Saturday at Puyallup against the defending Western Washington Football Alliance champion Puyallup Nation Kings. Wenatchee went down in defeat, 19-0. The Rams return home Saturday and will host Arlington. Jay Happ pitched 6 innings of 6-hit shutout ball as the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Seattle Mariners 4-0 Sunday at Safeco Field. Toronto ended up taking 2 of 3 from Seattle over the weekend following a 4-2 win Saturday. The Mariners won the first game of the series 4-2 on Friday. Manager Scott Service said Sunday's game boiled down to something pretty simple.
You know, they outpitched us today. Basically, you know, they really grinded through some at-bats against Paxton today and got the pitch count out. Pax wasn't quite as sharp as we've seen him be this year. And then, you know, Donaldson's home run got him going early. We had a lot of chances in the first 4 innings, couldn't quite get that big hit to get us on the board. And, you know, for whatever reason, you know, the Blue Jays have pitched us, our offensive players, as tough as anybody all year. And we just haven't really been able to get a whole lot going against them, you know, for whatever reason. And, you know, didn't get much going offense. It's tough. But Emilio Pagan did a great job kind of saving our bullpen and doing what he does out there. So kind of kept us in the game. But, you know, without, you know, getting that big hit, you know, I think we're 0 for 10 runners in scoring position today. It's not going to win a whole lot of games when that happens. So, again, our guys competed well. You know, we got off this homestand, got off to a great start, certainly offensively. Unfortunately, it cooled down here the last couple of days, but you know, we'll get it back going on the road again. It's nice to get Haniger back in there, but you know, need guys to, you know, gotta get hits with runners in scoring position. Guys are trying hard. We just didn't get it done today.
James Paxton lost for the first time this season as he allowed 4 earned runs on 8 hits in 4 innings, walking 3 and striking out 3. Service said it just wasn't Big Maple's day.
Oh, I don't know if the velocity is much issue. You know, you're throwing 94, 96. It's more where you're at on the plate and getting ahead in counts. We saw him behind in the count a little bit today, and then you know, he tried to go to his cutter there through the you know, the second, third inning. That helped for a little bit, but just couldn't get him enough you know, off the fastball. But again, you've got to get ahead in the count. You know, we've seen it, but you know, give them credit. They grinded at bats. They did it to Miranda last night. You know, it's a tough lineup to work through with power. You know, they hit the ball in the ballpark.
Josh Donaldson had a big hit to 2-run homer in the first to put Toronto out in front for good. Seattle beginning a 3-game series in Minnesota today. Giovanni Gallardo on the mound against Adalberto Mejia. Also in the American League on Sunday, it was Tampa Bay downing Oakland 5-4. Malik Smith went 3 for 3, scoring the game-winning run in the 7th as Tampa Bay edged Oakland. Sunday at Tropicana Fieldhouse, also Eric Young Jr.'s 3-run homer capped a 6-run 5th inning as the Angels pounded the Astros at Minute Maid Park 12-6. 32-year-old rookie right-hander Austin Biddens-Dirks retired 19 in a row, outdueling Cy Young winner Max Scherzer as Texas beat Washington 5-1. There you see the standings. Well, the Mariners dress code for their trip to Minnesota, a little interesting. Manager Scott Service imposed an unusual dress code for the team's charter flight to Minnesota to begin that 3-game series. He told players, I don't care how you dress, I don't care what you wear, but you have to dress as twins. Last week, the names of everybody in the traveling party were put into a hat, then pulled out 2 at a time. The pairings produced such unlikely twins as second baseman Robinson Cano and interpreter Anthony Suzuki. The entry fee was $20 a player, with the winning twins selected by a vote collecting the playout. Good luck on that one. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life Channel. Steve, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Eric. And now on to our feature report for a Monday. A local network, the Wenatchee Autoimmune Network, founded by Judy Rising, providing some resources and a community to those diagnosed with the autoimmune disease and their families. Rising joined Dan Kuntz this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. She talked more about the autoimmune diseases and the network and why we have such a high incidence of the disease here in north central Washington.
I don't know how many people know this, but there is no state in America that has a greater incidence of autoimmune diseases than the state of Washington. And the valley here has an inordinately high level, particularly MS, but
nobody
others.
really knows why either.
Nobody knows. It's all about this trigger thing. It's all about something that, you know, starts it off in somebody, and we don't know. You're right. The Alliance is actually a group of, let's see, at this point it's 14 different organizations that represent an autoimmune disease. So the diabetes, the American Arthritis Foundation, scleroderma, lupus, you know, they're all part of that organization. And so I think probably it would be good for me to start with what autoimmunity is, because I think a whole lot of people probably don't understand. And autoimmune issues are each slightly different, but there is a category of autoimmune disease that has about 80 to 100 different diseases. And the ones that are well known, I've mentioned a few of them: lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, scleroderma, some of those kinds. Those are the ones that people know the best, but there are many, many more. And so I got involved with this when, unfortunately, my youngest son passed away from a blood platelet autoimmune disease. And at the time, I knew absolutely nothing about what autoimmunity was. And so my husband and I and our family went to work trying to figure that out, and we figured if we don't understand, other people don't understand. So the first thing we want to do is try to get the word out.
And again, that was Judy Rising with the Autoimmune Network here in the Wenatchee Valley. Now, the network puts on an annual program for family members and patients, with the third annual program coming up on June 24th. It's a free program. Life After Diagnosis includes support resources, also speakers from around the valley. For more information, visit their website, A3, that's A numeral 3, autoimmunity.org. We'll be back in just a moment. We have a recap of your top stories of the day, also your forecast, which is a windy one for north central Washington, so stay tuned for that.
Stay up to date with what's happening in north central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back to our Monday recap on NCW Live News. Some of the top stories we've been following for you today. Chelan County Sheriff's Department attempting to locate a Chelan man who's believed to have fled the area with his two young sons following a May 29th altercation at Chelan's Slidewaters Park. Chief Deputy Rick Johnson reports in a news release that 28-year-old Sergio Valdez has two outstanding felony warrants for his arrest. He was last seen last month with his two children, 18-month-old Casper and 6-month-old Iviana. Anyone with information about their possible whereabouts should contact the Sheriff's Office or call Rivercom Emergency Dispatch 663-9911. A paraglider was rescued Sunday night after being stranded on a cliff on the north face of the Saddle Mountains, located in west central Grant County near the community of Beverly. The sheriff's report said the woman, whose age and hometown were not specified, became stranded on the cliff, possibly after crashing Sunday afternoon. She was eventually hoisted onto an Army rescue helicopter around 7:15 last night and then flown to Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital for treatment of injuries. Her condition, though, at this time is unknown. Also, Saturday, a dog ran out onto the highway, causing a two-vehicle injury crash in the Monitor area. State troopers say it happened on Highway 2, about a mile west of Monitor, when the driver, 66-year-old Darlene Adams of Wenatchee, was westbound behind another vehicle driven by 35-year-old Gerald Muscott of Leavenworth. Now, troopers say Muscott slowed down when the dog ran from a private property onto the roadway. Adams' vehicle then rear-ended Muscott, with both cars ending up blocking the westbound lane. Adams transported to Central Washington Hospital for treatment of her injuries. Muscott was unhurt. We don't know how the dog fared. And now it's time for our weather forecast. Dan Kuntz, what's the wind going to do to us today?
The National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for all of north central Washington. The advisory began at 3 this afternoon. It continues until 11 o'clock tonight, although it could be extended. A wind advisory means that sustained winds of at least 35 miles per hour are expected. That means high-profile vehicles are in danger of being buffered, if you will, by the high winds, especially on I-90 between Ritzville and Cle Elum and on Highway 2 along the Waterville Plateau. Also, areas of blowing dust are going to reduce visibility at times tonight into Tuesday. Between now and midnight, a sustained northwest wind will blow around 30 miles an hour with gusts near 45 miles an hour. Skies will be clear with an overnight low of around 56 degrees. Now, the winds will gradually decrease in the overnight hours, but it will still be quite breezy on Tuesday, especially Tuesday morning. A northwest wind of 15 to 18 miles an hour, gusts as high as 30 miles per hour expected tomorrow. With sunny skies, Tuesday's high will be slightly below normal at around 73 degrees. Tuesday night looks clear and windy still, with a low around 51 before the wind finally dies down on Wednesday. Wednesday's afternoon high of 74, though, does remain slightly below normal for this time of year. A weak system comes and goes on Thursday, bringing with it cloudy skies and a high of only 71, even though we are expecting overcast conditions on Thursday. There's no rain in the forecast, nor is there any wind in the forecast. And then things look really good, very pleasant for the weekend. Lots of sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with high temperatures at or slightly above normal for mid-June. And once again, the National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for all of north central Washington. It's under effect right now as we speak. It will continue until at least 11 o'clock tonight. Sustained winds of at least 35 miles per hour are expected. Very, very windy tonight. Windy tomorrow, but not as windy Tuesday as today. And that's your forecast on the NCW Life Channel.
Boy, with those stiff winds, those green hills are going to turn brown real quick. In fact, as a reminder, Chelan and Douglas counties are right now in a burn ban, so no outdoor burning, especially during these winds. That'll do it for our program for today. If you need more on these stories or other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, we're always looking for news tips and breaking news tips. If you see news happening, email us at news@ncwlife.com, messages on Facebook, or give us a call on our news hotline, 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295 for breaking news. I'm Steve Hare. Have a great day.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life Channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com. Like us on Facebook and follow NCW Life Channel on Twitter.
Get the fastest internet available in north central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.